and visit our education partners after the seminar, please go by. We have little things for you to put in your sacks so that it's all in one place for you. We brought things that had to do with health, either an article, or we brought like those little that you put in the water, energy type, natural water deals. So there's lots of little treats and things for you to go by and visit our education partners, and we really want you to do that because without them, we wouldn't be here, right? I also want to ask Casey to come on down. And while she's coming, I know that you have all been in the news and seen the news of the young officer that was killed. His services are today at Crossings. And the little family, the little boy, she dodged to miss things coming off a truck and went all the way. She and her daughter, everybody in the accident was killed. So I'd like for us just to take a moment of silence to remember these families and their friends, because it was a shock. They were young, and it's just tragic. Thank you. Hey, Casey, we are so happy to be here at Francis Tunnel.
Good morning. I'm Casey Craig. I see a lot of familiar faces around here. Just wanted to welcome you to Francis Tunnel. We are just a little bit about what we've got going on here. We're sliding into the very end of the school year. So it has been a little, I know, you're a parent.
Can't believe it.
I know, it's been a little crazy right here. Last week we had AP testing and ACT testing. A lot of our students that are here on this campus are doing competitions. The entrepreneur class is actually next door right now. They're practicing for a pitch competition because they're going to be pitching their new inventions and creations. And so it's really
Entrepreneurship.
yeah, it's a great season for us. Really quick, because tomorrow's tax day. Just what you wanted to do is come to Francis Tunnel and talk about your taxes. But what I do want to mention to you guys is that we have these beautiful facilities because of ad valorem taxes. So if you pay property taxes, just know that some of those property taxes are going to pay for these beautiful facilities, and not just a beautiful facility, but a place where kids can come and they can learn entrepreneurship, and you guys can come and learn about healthy living and all of those things. So just keep that in the back of your mind. There's a lot of talk around politically about taxes, and they're not a great thing. I know I don't like paying my taxes either, but the taxes that are paid through property taxes do fund these beautiful, wonderful facilities. So just keep that in mind. And with that, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I'm going to move on to I thought about it. Today's right, April 14th. But we're going to focus on National Gardening Day, not that it's tax day tomorrow. Okay? National Gardening Day is more of a smiley day, right? So if you look, there's a lot more detail of what gardening, just simple gardening, getting out, planting flowers can do for you. That's our educational piece that we wanted to offer you, because it's so good just to get out in the sun, right? Out in the fresh air. And just get out. It doesn't take, you don't have to be out there long, but just a little bit of gardening adds years to your life and life to your years. So we appreciate Kathleen put this together for us. It's a wonderful, wonderful piece for you about physical health, mental health, emotional, social nutrition, and overall wellness. Get out there, get your hands dirty. Okay? All right. Then you have seminar notes and different things like that. Well, I want to, we always have a 5-minute spotlight for our education partners. And today, our education partner spotlight is Linda Sargent with Directors Life. And she doesn't need any introduction, I don't think, because We've known each other since junior high. That's when they were called junior high, not mid-high, so that you would know a little bit about our age, right? And we both got to go on Medicare this year. I tell you our age too. So we're seniors, we're right here with you, and we're planning for the future. And Linda's going to tell us about something about planning for the future in another way, and we're pre-planning our future. So Linda, come on down.
Connie knows. She definitely knows that if she gives me 5 minutes, she'll have to watch her clock because I enjoy visiting. As I was thinking about coming here today, I thought, what do we all share in common about being in this room today? What do we all have in common? And that's the ability to think, right? To think. What a wonderful thing to be able to think. But what is it that we all want to have in our life? The number one thing that we have, that we all want in our life. Anybody? Connection, but what does that include? Remember, I said we're all thinkers.
Planning.
What is the greatest thing that we all strive to have in our life?
Health.
Health. What else? Much deeper than that.
Love.
Love. Who said love? Oh. He gets a free mint. Love. We all desire love. Well, love is about life, right? Loving is living. And so what I help people do is to plan and comfort the living as well as honor a life. And so with that, I'm going to plant a seed because we're into gardening today, right? I'm planting a seed. What I do is I help people find the perfect men and women to help honor your life with a plan that will comfort your family at the end of life. Is that not a great segue to advanced planning your funeral or your cremation? It's really about love, isn't it? It's loving a life that was lived, planning a ceremony about how someone can be laid to rest and honored, and what will provide comfort for your family. And comfort comes in 2 different ways, financially and emotionally. So I run a life insurance company, and all we do is connect people with the right funeral home and funeral director staff, and then we fund it with another L, either a life insurance policy or an annuity, and they're specially designed to fund prearranged funerals. So you all are thinkers, and thinkers do not procrastinate, do they? That's why you're in the room. So with that, I had to come up with a way that would lift the load, and that was with my friends, Marty and Taka, who are little donkeys. And donkeys lift the load, don't they? And they're very biblical too. So with that, we'll share a little bleep. And you'll be introduced to my little friends, Marty and Taco. Marty's the small one, and Taco is the larger one.
Why should you pre-fund your funeral arrangements? Donkeys are known for carrying the load so others don't have to. Pre-funding works the same way. It locks in today's costs and protects your family from unexpected financial stress in the future. It removes guesswork during an emotional time. and ensures your wishes are clearly documented. Pre-funding isn't about focusing on death. It's about lifting the burden from the people you love. From the pasture to planning, I'm Linda Sargent with Director's Life.
So you can see more of Marty and Taco on YouTube. Just go to Director's Life Assurance on YouTube, or you can go to our Facebook page. And I think I did my 5 minutes.
You did.
Yay!
You did great. Thank you. Thank you. That is awesome. Well, it is my great honor. Turn on your mic, your sound there, Chip. I am real excited. Chip was part of our presentation 2 years ago. And when we got all of our feedback, I already had that year completed, right? So we had to plan a year in advance. We have our topics a year in advance, and then we had things we wanted to cover for everybody. So I asked, when we got our feedback, it was like, we wanted to hear more about the nutrition, about the natural way of enhancing our bodies to perform the way they should. So I asked Chip to, even before that, I said, okay, I called Cindy and Chip and I said, I'm going to have you speaking, so I want to come and go through it. And so I did, and they scanned me and they got me all cleaned up and good to go. And I have felt better ever since. It's been really good. They even eventually, a year down the road, they helped my husband with some different issues. So I'm excited to hear a whole presentation from start to finish. And you have the notes that he's going to be talking about, and there's plenty of space on there for you to take notes. And there's a question page also that he's going to be covering those questions. And so jot down, if we don't cover something that you want to ask him, jot that down and we will have a separate Q&A time, okay? So jot it down. We want him to do his presentation and cover everything, and then we're going to take a small break, and then we're going to go to Q&A. So with that, welcome, Chip. We're so excited to learn today.
Thank you, Connie. Thank you. And Connie, just so grateful for what you do for the community. You know, if you are a senior in this community in Oklahoma City and in the area, Connie, these seminars are just so wonderful and such a good source of information for us all. So I'm grateful to be a part of this and grateful to be a part of Connie's ecosystem and to be here today. I also love what Linda said. My father died unexpectedly in 2019. I mean, like, really unexpectedly, no warning at all. And, you know, he had funds, let's say, but nothing was set up. And he pre-planned his whole funeral through a service like Linda's, and it was such a relief to the family to just have all that ready to go. I can't tell you how comforting it was to have that type of situation already lined out. So thank you for what you do too. All right, so we're going to talk about essential nutrients today. So we're smart people, we're scientifically advanced in our society, so surely we have this all figured out, right? If I asked you guys, are you all malnourished? How many of you would raise your hand? Okay, so a couple of you, that's good. If I ask you, are you getting everything that you need from the food supply, which is kind of the same question. Again, most of us think that we do, right? So, you know, I eat my eggs and avocado and whatever, and, you know, my meat, and I'm good, right? I'm fueling this thing that I drive every day. Well, God is a perfect engineer, if you will, okay? So what do I mean when I say that? Well, I mean that every single cell inside of you is created perfect. You don't create a cell to be mediocre. You don't create a cell to fail. You don't create a cell to get cancer. You don't create a cell to walk out. You create perfect cells. that are perfectly designed. Now, aren't we just a big collection of cells? We are, right? So everything inside of us is also in a process of renewal. So if I understand everything that I need to do for a cell, if I can take him and comfort him and kind of give him everything that he needs, he's going to be a happy cell. And he's going to create a happy organ. And he's going to create a happy tissue system. And he's going to create a happy blood system. And he's going to create a happy neurological system. And he's going to create a happy you. Okay? You guys with me? Okay, great. So, I'm 65, so I'm 65. Most people my age are on numerous medications. So if I ask you guys are probably on at least one medication, maybe a couple, if you're over 65. Is that necessary? Again, if you have high blood pressure, God is the perfect engineer, right? Well, why would we have high blood pressure? There's got to be a cause. There's got to be a reason. That's not perfect engineering. Well, I don't think that blood pressure medication, it might get your blood pressure down, okay? It might scientifically do what it's supposed to do, but is it getting to the root cause of what's causing that blood pressure? No. Again, if you have high cholesterol, is that normal? No. It takes a cause. It takes a reason. If you have gastric upset every time you eat food, if you have burping and stomach acid and things like that, is that normal? No. So you're taught, we're going to tell you what's wrong with you, and you're going to accept it and like it, right? We're taught really to ignore these health signals, but those health signals are super important. If I have issues when I eat, that's not normal, right? That's a health signal. That's telling me something. What we're finding in our science, and again, when I say science, we participate nationally in a way bigger picture here. I'm an adjunct professor at a couple of universities. I help build curriculum at a couple of universities. So we're kind of, let's say, tip of the spear in some of this science. So some of this is stuff that you're not going to hear from your doctor, but it doesn't mean it's not true. And if you guys have an AI tool that you like, I would encourage you to check out everything that I tell you that we're trying to teach you in this presentation, okay? So our modern food system has changed, right? We are not doing the same things that we did, let's say, in 1900, okay? Now, let me tell you something about health that you guys might not realize, and we'll get to why this is important. Resilience is a very important word in health. So if you're my age, if you're 65 and over, you're more resilient than people who are 50. People who are 50 are more resilient than people who are 35. People who are 35 are more resilient than teenagers. Teenagers are more resilient than 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds right now, okay? And this is because our modern food system has changed, all right? So I got some good food, but every generation below me, that went away and began to go away more and more and more. So it's important to understand that I might eat plenty of food every day, but still be malnourished, okay? So, what do cows eat? What do cows eat? Grass. Do cows eat corn?
Yes.
We feed them corn, but would a cow naturally eat corn? I mean, likely if you let a bunch of cows out in the cornfield, they're probably going to eat it all, but that's not naturally what they eat. They eat grass, okay? When I take a cow, if I'm a farmer right now, a rancher, again, I corn finish everything. I corn finish all my beef. I also use soy. Again, cows won't eat soy naturally. Will a chicken eat corn naturally? We go out in the cornfield and start pecking around? No. Again, they eat bugs and grass. Will a chicken eat soy naturally? No. But those are cheap, easy feeds that make those animals fat. Okay? If a cow eats grass, is that a different meat than if a cow eats corn? Yeah. Yeah, and we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail in a second. Okay, so the other thing that we've done, so that's feed animals, right? So you need to recognize that your food supply is only as good as what that farmer's feeding that cow. And if you shop at Sprouts and pay 12 times as much as the rest of us, then maybe you're getting some grass-fed, grass-finished. But if you shop at Crest, like most of us, again, you've got to realize that that meat is super heavy in something called omega-6 and has no omega-3 in it because of the feed. And we'll talk about why that's important in a second. So, soil, all right? Is our soil the same as it used to be? No! Again, how do we used to farm? I mean, plow, pull behind a donkey or a horse. By the way, donkeys being biblical, think about this. You're the prince of the world. You're the prince of the universe. You're the son of God. And you get ready to make your big entrance to the people of Jerusalem, to your people. You ride in on a donkey. Can you imagine the humility that took? The humility that took. It makes me cry almost every time I think about it. It's just a cool story. Anyway, so soil. We used to, plow our fields behind the donkey, right, or horse. When we were doing that, we were respecting the soil. So in order for things to grow in soil, the soil has to be alive. So you have to, stick the shovel in. You have to see the earthworms and the bacteria and the ecosystem that's a part of that soil because plants interface with that. Plants interface with that living soil in order to produce the proper nutrients that we need. When you are doing an 8-furrow plow and you're plowing up your field every year and then you're throwing ammonium nitrate and fertilizers like that on top of that soil, you may be able to feed your plants a little bit, but you're not feeding those plants like you did when that soil was alive. Now, why does that matter to you? I used to be able to eat a strawberry and get a ton of nutrients for one strawberry. And what's important about a strawberry is not an essential food. Fruits are not essential. Carbohydrates are not essential. If you go the rest of your life and never eat one, you'll be fine. But they are a big source of vitamins, right? So a strawberry used to be loaded with vitamins. It's got about 1/10 of what it used to have now, okay? So not only are we malnourished because we don't understand what our essential nutrients are, we have a degraded food supply. So even if we were super knowledgeable about everything that we need to put in ourselves, can we actually get it from our food supply? No, not right now. And that's the horrible, horrible, horrible truth about what's going on. Now, again, if you're a senior, you're facing double challenge. The good thing is you're more resilient than the generations below you. The bad thing is we're facing all these challenges. So we don't know we're malnourished. That's the biggest one. The people that we trust kind of tell us about our health are limited, let's say, in their understanding of the truth. They've been taught a certain, if you're a doctor right now, you're taught a truth. You're taught an institutional truth that fits that institution. Is that the truth? No, that's not the truth. That's a convenient institutional truth. And again, happy to have that argument with anybody that wants to argue with me. But right now, seniors face, who do I trust? How do I get what I need out of my food supply? Is what Chip telling me right? Is what Dr. Joe telling me right? Is, a lot of chaos and confusion out here, right? If you're a senior right now. I tell you the truth, but again, believe me, but you guys satisfy yourselves along those lines, right? Okay, so what are your essential nutrients? I know when I need to run my chainsaw, right? If I put oil and gas in that chainsaw, it's going to run really good. I know when I need to run my vehicle. I know when I need to run most of my home appliances. I know how to take care of them. I know how to maintain them. And if I get stuck, I go to my owner's manual. Where's your owner's manual? Where's your owner's manual? I mean, arguably, we're two things in this reality, right? We're a beautiful, incarnated, wonderful, multidimensional spirit, and we're this beat puppet vehicle that we drive around every day, okay? So, does this thing have maintenance? Does it require care? Are there certain things that I've got to put in it in order to maintain it? Yeah, absolutely. And chief among those are essential nutrients. So essential nutrients are the things that you need to run your body. They are your oil and gas. Without essential nutrients, you're going to have the same result as if you try to drive your car without oil and gas. You're going to have a bad result. Now, the cool thing is, in the way that you're designed, this vehicle is designed, it'll triage. So if I am not getting my oil and gas, if I'm not getting my essential nutrients, I'll begin to rob less critical areas. Okay? So I'll first of all rob cosmetic areas, and then I'll rob reproductive areas. All right? So, you guys aren't going to believe me when I say this, but I encourage you to satisfy yourself. Every single visible sign of aging has to do with collagen malnourishment. Okay? You don't age, you just look more malnourished. All right? Cells want to hit a maturity. Cells want to become all they can be. They want to hit this mature point, and then they want to kind of stay there and run there, right? Well, what does that mean to us physiologically? What would that mean to us if we had all this figured out? Well, you're going to hit about 30, 35 in appearance, and you're going to stay there for the rest of your life. We're not going to age the way physically look like we're aging in the way that we do now. It's all collagen. And why does this happen? You need 5 to 10 grams of collagen every single day to keep up with gut lining, with your gut lining. You turn over 5 to 10 grams of collagen every day just in your gut lining. Where are you getting 5 to 10 grams of collagen? I mean, again, what do we do when we go buy ground beef? Fat, and I'll walk through what the essential nutrients are in a second. But what do we do when we go buy ground beef? Well, we look for the leanest, 99% lean. Well, it's got a lot of protein in it. That doesn't have any collagen in it, and it also doesn't have fat in it. So let's walk through essential nutrients real quick. What are your essential nutrients? So your essential nutrients, the first category of essential nutrients, and by far and away the most important category. So these are things that you gotta have every day, okay? Gotta have them every day. If you don't have them, it's your oil and gas, you're gonna break in some way, all right? Omega-3 and omega-6 fats in balance. You have to have them in balance. Right now, because of our food supply, and that's why I talked about our meat, because our meat is eating so much corn, that puts a ton of omega-6 in our meat. Because our meat is not eating grass anymore, that takes away omega-3. Now, why is this important? We need to be eating equal amounts of omega-3 and omega-6. Let me give you an example, okay? Let's say you're allergic to dust, all right? Allergic to dust. I'm going to feed you equal amounts of omega-3 and omega-6 the way that we should. This is how configurable we are by food, okay? You're allergic to dust. I feed you equal amounts of omega-3 and omega-6. I take you on a trip. I drive you through a dust storm. In the dust storm, you're horribly uncomfortable. You're having a reaction. You have an allergy to dust. As soon as we come out of the dust storm, whoop, you go right back to normal. You're the same person you were before we drove into the dust storm. Okay? Got me? With me? All right. Let's say you eat a lot of meat from Crest and you don't supplement with omega-3, all right? Wham! You're going to have a ton of omega-6 and no omega-3. How does that change things? I can't drive you through a dust storm. I might kill you from anaphylactic shock. You're that reactive and that inflammatory. One dust mite is going to do the same thing driving you through that dust storm there. It's going to create the same reaction inside of you. It's going to create the same reactivity. Your immune system is going to treat that mite exactly the way it did a big pile of dust. Whoop! And you're going to get stuck in that reaction. okay? Every little dust mite, every little bacteria that invades you, every little parasite, it's going to be like you're on fire. And cancer therapy. We've all heard of chemotherapy, right? Does chemotherapy kill cancer? No. Chemotherapy allows your immune system to be calmed down enough to where it goes, gee, I have cancer. I'll go kill it. You kill cancer. Your immune system kills cancer. Chemotherapy adjusts this horrible misbalance that we have enough to where your body can recognize that that's cancer. Okay? So, essential nutrient category number 1, omega-3, omega-6, in balance. We all miss too much omega-6. Easy to fix. Supplement with omega-3, DHA and EPA. Everyone should be taking 2 grams of EPA, DHA every single day. If you're not doing that, you're not getting your oil and gas, and you're going to suffer. And what are the main consequences of omega-3, omega-6? It's everywhere. Literally, they go in every single cell. Every single cell wall is built from omega-3 and omega-6 fats. So this matters to everything. It matters to your neurology. It matters to your immune system. It matters to your brain. It matters to your heart. It matters to everything. Everything. Okay? Category 1. Category 2 is amino acids. Protein. All right? So if you eat 4 ounces of meat a day, you're getting your essential amino acids. All right? The problem is, most of us are infected with things, and there's 7 conditional amino acids that will build from those 9, and that's mainly collagen. So most of us are throttled around collagen. We don't build collagen the way that we should, and we need collagen. Like I said, you turn over 5 to 10 grams at least of collagen every day just in your gut lining, just in your, not counting lung lining, not counting if you're a female, you've got other linings that I don't have, not counting those linings, so just your gut lining, 5 to 10 grams of collagen. So all of us are collagen deficient right now. Collagen, 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 collagen. You can't get enough collagen. Everybody needs collagen. If, again, if your hair is starting to turn gray and you want to fix that, that's a vitamin and collagen deficiency. If your teeth are going bad, that's a collagen deficiency. If your eyes are going bad, that's a collagen deficiency. If your skin is becoming wrinkled, that is a collagen deficiency, okay? So lots of stuff in there. And collagen is also, when I'm speaking to you, you are hearing me because I am vibrating a matrix called air, right? So I am using my vocal cords to vibrate a matrix. You are decoding that through your ears, that vibration, that sounds to you like speech. Cells do the same thing. They want to talk to each other. They have to have a good matrix, like our air that we vibrate. They vibrate something called the extracellular matrix. That is collagen. If you don't have enough collagen, your cells can't communicate in the way that they need to communicate. The last category are vitamins. We've all heard about vitamins. If I ask you what your essential nutrients were, most of us would say, oh, well, I know vitamins are in there somewhere. So vitamins, trace minerals like iodine, and metals like magnesium and iron. Okay? So there's several different metals, there's several different trace, and then we all kind of know what our vitamins are. But here, and I'll just use this example with vitamins. So I'm trying to kind of give you guys examples of how we malnourish ourselves without even knowing it. So shopping at Crest, you're going to get too much omega-6 and not enough omega-3 unless you supplement. Again, if you just eat normal, you're going to be collagen deficient. And then the last category are vitamins. And vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K are all fat-soluble vitamins. So what does that mean? It means you'll store a little bit of them. And it also means that that cow or that pig or that sheep or chicken that you're eating also stored a little bit of them. So you're going to get some of those vitamins in your food supply. B and C vitamins are water soluble. If you're not taking a B and C vitamin every day, you are malnourished. There are B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, B7, B9, and B12. They're all very important. So most of us have B12 around, and we think that's enough.
right? Or we might take a C, every once in a while we get sick, we think that's enough. That ain't enough. Every day, we have to have B and C vitamins. You can play that AI game, I mean, I won't go through all the examples, but without B, so just ask AI, what happens if I don't have B vitamins, if I miss with B vitamins in my nourishment? And you'll see just cells don't work the way they should. Your immune system won't work the way that they should. So by our behavior with essential nutrients, we are setting ourselves up for infection, okay? We are setting ourselves up for infection. And the first thing that happens, the first line of infectives that will come and infect you, and everyone in this room, and if you don't believe me, come to our office and I'll show you. Everyone in this room is infected at this level. I'll tell you right now, because I just look at, I see hundreds and hundreds of people all the time. So I know that this is the fact. And I'm still infected at this level. I know more about this than lots of things in the world. So what happens is, because we don't get enough collagen, our gut lining, the cells in our gut lining begin to fail. And when the cells in the gut lining fail, they don't produce acid and they don't produce mucus at the same level. That's what guards your insides from your outsides. If your barrier space, it's just like a border wall. Again, if our border wall fails, you're going to get invaded, okay? You're going to get invaded by stuff. And the first line of infectives that infect us, your stomach is a big tank. In a perfect world, it fills with acid that you eat. That disinfects everything that comes in. You're just acidifying everything. You're killing all the bacteria and parasites and everything that you're potentially getting from your food supply in your stomach. That's the way it should work. What happens with most of us, because we don't get enough collagen, is that tank begins to fill up less and less and less and less. And when it fills up less, you've got an area that's open for infection and colonization. So that happens. As soon as that area gets infected, you can't absorb nutrients in the same way. So if I'm a bug and I want to infect you and inhabit you, isn't it a neat trick to take away all the nutrients that might kill you? And that's exactly what they do, because they're smart and they're effective. They've been doing this for a long time. They've probably been on Earth longer than we have. So they're very adaptive, very smart, very effective. Now, again, we can find these guys and they're easy to kill. You just got to know that you have them. So really the whole idea here is that we want to build this strong wall by understanding what we need and what we're missing in our nutrients. So if I can get you to build a strong wall, you're going to defend yourself. You're not going to get infected with stuff. But right now, we're all getting infected with stuff, right? And if you look at the cause of most disease, cause is over here, symptoms are over here. You know, disease we talk about really as symptoms. Is rheumatoid arthritis, is that a disease? No, it's symptoms. You know, is obesity a disease? No, it's symptoms. Is type 2 diabetes a disease? No, it's symptoms. So we talk about symptoms, right? There's a whole bunch of stuff that happens between root cause and symptom expression. Now, the medicine of the future, right now the medicine of today is just moving you out of symptoms, right? So if I'm the pharmaceutical system and I can move you out of symptoms, well, I'm going to make you happy, you're going to feel better and all that. But I'm not walking you back here. The medicine of the future will be understanding root cause and walking you back to that root cause situation. And that gets rid of a lot of other stuff than just how you potentially are manifesting symptoms. The way that we look at this is invasion, right? So it's like a border wall. So there's stages to how your border wall comes down, and then how you get infected with stuff, and how that can impact you. Stage 5, let's say, would be the worst. At stage 5, you're super susceptible to cancer. It's likely you're going to get cancer. At stage 4, you're less susceptible. At stage 3, you're less susceptible. At stage 2, it's highly unlikely you'll ever get cancer. And at stage 1, there's no way you'll get cancer. And I don't care where you are, how old you are, how sick you are, we can begin to move you out of whatever stage you're in. And it's nutrition. We're just really using nutrition. You are a very sophisticated machine that works in a very logical way, which is really cool. All right, so the last category here is essential fats. Essential fats is the biggest place that we miss, okay? So omega-3, omega-6 balance is where we really miss. And that is the most impactful of the essential nutrients where we miss. All of, the bottom line here is we all need to supplement with EPA and DHA. All of us. If you look at brain diseases, really significant neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and dementia and things like that, they all have to do with fat processing and basically improper fat processing in the brain. But this all is triggered by omega-3 and omega-6 imbalance. So again, everybody needs to eat more omega-3s, and DHA and EPA in particular. Okay, so super important. We're all kind of driven by the Facebook ad or the TikTok ad or the whatever. I'm going to save you guys some money, okay? If you're already buying supplements, I'm going to save you some money right here. Okay, so we've all seen the CoQ10 ad. Oh, we all need CoQ10, right? It's the magic shot. It's the great thing for our heart. It will help mitochondria. It's a wonderful thing. And plus, wow, man, plus will make my mitochondria go, will save my heart, will make me healthier. Iron, magnesium, B12, B9, all of that. All of those things are built from essential nutrients. You don't need CoQ10 if you're getting your essential nutrients. You don't need, your body makes it. You don't need you don't need NAD plus if you're taking all your, it's built from niacin, which is a B vitamin. You don't need those things if you're taking your essential nutrients. So what do you really need to do? What do we all really need to do? We all need to supplement with omega-3, so EPA and DHA. We all need to supplement from collagen because that's mainly where we miss. And again, if we can get our stomach acid up and do some stuff like that at the same time, that's really beneficial. And then we all need to supplement for vitamins, trace minerals, and minerals. That's it. Okay? You can, again, I can put that in a glass and, we have to eat some calories for fuel. Yeah. But you're not missing anything. Okay? That's where we're headed. Okay? Eventually, we'll be able to do that in our food supply, but it's not good enough right now. You can't you're going to have to, spinach. I'll get my B vitamins from spinach like Popeye. Yeah, good luck. You get the room full of spinach because it ain't what it used to be. So you guys kind of get the idea. It's an interesting society that we live in. And I would say that this society really has been about making money and not in your best interest, right? And that's kind of how we got ourselves in the mess that we're in. But we can change that. We can change that right now. It just takes a decision. It just takes movement. It just takes, something to get behind. So I would argue MAHA, RFK Jr.'s movement, if you will, is a very good thing to get behind. There's some things that are happening here in Oklahoma. My wife has built a nonprofit called Truth in Health, where we're trying to do some of this stuff. Bring awareness. Why isn't every physician taught about essential nutrients? If you guys want to have some fun, next time you go to the doctor, go, Doc, what are my essential nutrients? What's my oil and gas? What do I got to have every day to maintain my health in my body? He's going to give you the deer in the headlights look because he or she doesn't know. They don't know. They weren't taught this. The PhDs that teach them don't know what their essential nutrients are. The dietitians that teach them don't know what their essential nutrients are. That's how insanely bad this is. So how do we change it? Let's require every licensed medical professional to have education around essential nutrients. Let's require every kid that comes through Francis Tuttle to be educated on essential nutrients. It's not hard, it just requires change. All right, so I think that's probably a good place to leave it.
Yes.
It is. So
Awesome.
there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Stay right here.
Okay.
Stay right there.
Right.
Thank you.
And so,
Real quick, if everybody will pull, oops, okay. So I thought it was
Just
all
a minute.
one thing. I'm so sorry. Okay, So if I can draw your attention to the evaluation form. We're just going to take a quick break, look at the evaluation form. This is so important to us. And I know we're going to just go over it real quick. And if you have any questions, please let us know. But I'm just going to go over this real quick. How would you rate today's seminar? That is totally your opinion, no problem at all. We like to learn too. So if you give us a 6, that's wonderful, that's fine. Just put down here what you think we need to improve. Or give us ideas about the situation. Okay, great, here we are. All right, what is the most important thing you heard or learned today? What's your takeaway? That's all that's saying. What is your takeaway today so that we can say, okay, that they got it. That was a pinpoint. We got our message across. That's our main goal on there. The third question is, what topics would you like to hear more about? That's how we asked them to come back because they wanted extended conversation. He had 15 minutes today, he had 30. So we want your opinion. We want you to put down things that you would like to learn more about. Please provide ideas and suggestions of enhancing our program. That's what goes along with that first question. That's where you want to put, I think that we need more time for Q&A. I think we need more, I don't know, just whatever you think, okay? Because I don't want to take a lot of your time because I want us to get to Q&A. Please check all that apply. Yes, register before the May 12th, which is going to be in Mustang, seminar. If you want us to register, you check that, you will get an email saying that you've been registered. That's because you asked us to register. You do not have to register yourself if you put that on this feedback. Also, our education partners. Education partners, this is not where you register for the seminar. We work with you on that. You don't sign up for this, okay? Also, I'm interested in touring our senior living communities. These are our education partners that have communities that you can tour. They will spend lots of time with you. They usually like for you to come and have lunch with them because is food important of where we're going to move to? Yes, food's very important. Nutritional food. So also, I want to take advantage of complimentary consultation. What information or who would you like to speak with? If you're wanting to know the value of your home, you're going to put, I would like to speak with the Connie Williams group. That may be Kendra, Terry, or myself reaching back out to you. You're giving us permission to reach out to you. You want to talk to someone about Medicare situation. We are going to connect you with Sharon Fitzpatrick, right? We're going to connect you with Well Preserved, whoever. We're going to give them your name and let you talk with them separately. You're asking us for a special consultation with any of our education partners that we have, or a panelist. Our panelists are not always our education partners. If you want to speak, if we have a doctor coming and you want a special question for that doctor, we send them your information and that allows them to give you a call. How did you hear about us? That's very important. I've been coming, you can say I've been coming forever and ever, Facebook, however you heard about us. Preferred form of communication. We do not want to hound you. We do not want you to get 5 emails a week from us. That is not our goal. We want to make sure you're registered and you are taken care of, but we do not want to hound you. If you prefer texting, if you prefer a call, let us know. We do not want to offend anyone. We don't want you to feel like we tell you to be safe. If you don't recognize the number, not to pick up, right? So as Alice starts communicating with you, she wants to know what your best form of communication is. Or when she reaches out and thanks you for coming, or if she's going to connect you with somebody, she wants to know how you would prefer to be communicated with. And then also, please, either on this form or when you register, please write very legibly. So we don't mess up your email, your phone number, et cetera, et cetera. So that is that. Is there anybody that brought a guest today? Okay, so we have a Chick-fil-A gift card that we are going to share. Come on down. Come on out. This is Nicole. This is Nicole, and thank you for inviting people to come. We have you fill out a little card when you come in, and we always have a $50 gift card of some kind. This is to Chick-fil-A. So hope you enjoy that. And yes, right? All right, we're going to move on to, and be sure you visit our table afterwards. We're going to move right into Q&A. All right? So you can ask any questions that you want. I'm going to ask Kendra or Terry, whoever's available, to come around with the mic so that we can hear your questions. And we are going to just have a Q&A question. What's probably the number one question you receive about yours versus regular prescriptions?
I would say it's more about the infection and stuff. So it's, people, we're just beginning to wake up to the fact that we get infected by things, by parasites, by bacteria, by funguses, and by viruses. And most people really don't realize that. So that's usually the biggest education thing. We've all heard about vitamins, we've all heard about protein, we've all heard about fats. No one has really just kind of, let's say, tied it up in this essential nutrient way that we're trying to do. So that's pretty easy to get you, to kind of understand that. But to get you to appreciate that you're infected by something, that's really hard for a lot of us right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's because the things we're around and we're taking in.
Yep.
And it lodges there, right? It lodges there until we try to go in and get rid of it.
So this gets a little deep and weird, but I'll try to do this quick. So, alive or dead, that's the way that most of us think about things, right? So I'm either alive or I'm dead. Well, that's not really the way that things work at the cellular level. So if you think about, we've all seen a dead squirrel that got run over by something, right? And, oh, that's sad. And we drive by and it's just dead. And then we drive by next week and it's kind of flatter. And then we drive by a month from now and it's gone. So that's just the way the world works. And the way that the world works is bacteria and let's say these pathogens want to decompose things, all right? There's a dimmer switch of life, all right? And so once that dimmer switch reaches a certain point, you're going to literally call in those bacteria. And that happens inside of us, as weird and gross as that sounds. Why? Because we don't understand our essential nutrients.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Yeah.
So those three, it's really simple, right? 3 main nutrients. So that's really eye-opening. Okay, so I'd like to open it up for your questions. I'm right over here.
You were talking about dementia and Alzheimer's and so forth, and the nutrients and speaks of how far gone should a person be to help to bring them back.
Yeah, that's a really good question, especially in, let's say, neurodegenerative diseases and also cancer. So there definitely is, let's say, a too far gone. Where your body has kind of reached that point of no return. But, I would say if someone is just beginning to have symptoms, like forgetting things, the obvious symptoms of like brain type dysfunction.
Cognitive.
Yes, cognitive. That absolutely you can intervene and things can get better. Omega-6 and omega-3 are the two biggest, that disbalance is the biggest problem there. And so supplementing, somebody who's, let's say, beginning to show signs of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, they need to be taking about 4 grams, okay, of DHA and EPA every day, 4 grams. And fat is the most important thing to your body, okay? And, again, we've been taught a bunch of other crap.
Well, that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
That is the most important part.
And there's 4 different types of fats, so saturated, monounsaturated, omega-3, and omega-6 fats. But when you eat, let's say you eat an avocado, it's really important what happens, how that fat gets from that avocado in your brain. Okay? And there's 10 different processes that that fat has to go through as it's, let's say, stripped of electrons and all different kinds of stuff happens. But by the time it gets to be useful in your brain, there's 10 different processes. In the cells in our brain, the neurons, it's really important how much fat gets in and fat gets out. So there has to be, that balance has to be maintained in cells. And things like Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and dementia is a dysregulation in that in and out. Autism is a dysregulation in that in and out.
Any drugs that are 2 different, one for low blood pressure, one for high blood pressure. I see 2 for different synthroid. I mean, I just see really weird stuff. But I don't know.
Hold the mic directly to your
If you talk to your doctor or your pharmacist, are they going to tell you what drugs are going to affect your blood pressure?
Yeah,
And things like that. Are they going to be honest about that?
So let's talk through the box that the doctor's in. Okay, so I'm a doctor, I've gone to school, I've gotten all my education, now I'm out in general practice. And, you know, I have to pay a lot of money for insurance and malpractice insurance. And that malpractice insurance really, you know, gives me boundaries on what I can do and what I can't do. So I'll give you an example of this. So let's say you're an oncologist, you're a cancer doctor, and I've got cancer. And I come in, I go, Doc, I read that H. pylori, a bacteria, can cause my pancreatic cancer. Is that what's going on with me? Do I have an infection? Is that what's driving my cancer? That doctor cannot answer that question. If he does, he's committing malpractice because that's not his training. His training is in cancer. It's not an infectious disease. It's not in things that might cause cancer. So he can't really even answer your question. Now, he might, you know, try if he's a good person, but he's at great risk of you suing him for malpractice. So medicine is very siloed, it's very specific, it's very specialty oriented. There's not really anybody who's looking at the big picture. So, you know, that's what we try to do, is kind of concern ourselves with that big picture. I don't have to worry about getting sued, I don't have malpractice insurance, so I can kind of say what I want. But a physician does, okay? A physician does have some. Now, what's changing this? Direct primary care. If I'm a doc right now and I'm in a clinical, integrous clinical system, I malpractice and all that, I'm gonna be really careful what I say to you. If I go down and I leave that and I become a direct primary care doctor, no insurance, right? You're just paying $99 a month, so I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Now you talk about whatever. So those physicians are a lot less constrained by, let's say, malpractice constraints than some people in the clinical system. So it's beginning to change. Most physicians, you have to just, they're trained institutionally, right? So again, you look at a blood test, if you see certain things, or you look at a cholesterol test. If someone's over a certain level, then they're gonna be prescribed a statin. So it's like working on a car, boom, boom, boom. They're not looking at extenuating circumstances like you might be infected with something or you might be malnourished. It's just not in their institutional training. So to answer your question, doctors are not going to be concerned with your medication list right now. They're going to be concerned with getting you out of their office and writing you that script, right? Because they need to get the kickback on that script. And that's, it sounds horrible, but that's just the way it is. Your pharmacist, if you fill your drugs at Walgreens or, one of these bigger pharmacies, they're not going to be as concerned as that neighborhood pharmacist will about drug-drug interactions, okay? The cool thing now, again, Chat GPT, an AI tool, is free. Doesn't cost anything. You can download it on your phone right now. If you just give it your medication list, it will tell you if you've got concerns, let's say things that are contraindicated, and if you give it more information and have a discussion, you're gonna get to the bottom of stuff that might be hurting you, let's say it's being prescribed to you, or.
It helps you make a more direct question.
Yes,
of them.
absolutely. And then I would call
So
you.
there's where AI is not evil, right?
Yeah.
AI is so scary to us, right? It's scary.
But I would then call your pharmacist with that information, have a discussion with the professional that's supposed to be managing that for you.
Yeah. Great. Yes, ma'am. She's coming with the mic.
So I am not familiar with EPA. Could you explain that?
Okay.
And also, what brand of supplements do you recommend?
Okay, very good. Omega-3 is, there's really 3 different types of fats that are omega-3 fats. What's in seeds and kind of the natural precursor is called ALA, alpha-linolenic acid. And then you have an enzyme that kind of doesn't work in us right now that will break down ALA into EPA and DHA. DHA is something that's used by every mitochondria. So inside, how do we produce energy? We produce energy by mitochondria. So there might be 1,000 mitochondria in each cell. Every mitochondria has some DHA. It's critical, very critical. EPA is the other side of inflammation and reaction. It's resolving, mediating, healing, all that, okay? So when a cell decides to do something like react, like an immune event, so a cell might inflame an area. So let's say you get stung by something or you have a trauma, okay? Your body knows that. Your body knows the area that's affected. It should inflame that area. Again, it's going to wall it off with fluid, okay? That's inflammation. You're walling off an area with fluid. And then it's going to begin repair processes in that area. EPA is what is the repair processes, okay? And then as that area is repaired, it's going to deflame. It's going to calm down. That is also EPA. So resolving, mediating, healing is EPA. The omega-6 side of that is the fire. It's the reactive and the inflammatory and all that. So if you look at kind of omega-6s, they are like fire in your immune system. And omega-3s, the EPA side of omega-3s, is more like water, is the healing and cooling side. Right now we've got all fire and no water, okay? And then you asked about supplements. I have patents around our supplements. We make supplements. So we have a company called True Medix, TRUEMEDX. And it's online, but we also use our own supplements. And like if you came to our clinic, I'm going to be using our own supplements to do things because we have patents around them and I know how powerful they are and I made them. So I know they're safe, I know they're good for you, I know exactly what's in them, and I know exactly what I'm doing to you.
And they have information up here at the desk for you to take with you about it.
Are they considered whole food supplements?
Yeah, they're absolutely like as natural as I can make them. They're all made with natural products, and we have source material where I get everything from. And I'm happy to expose you to. There's a right way to do this, and we feel like we're doing it the right way. You can always do things better, let's say, but we feel like we're doing it pretty much the right way. I'm happy to be honest, truthful, open about everything that we do and how we're trying to help you. Because we want to teach you. You're not going to be able to build supplements in the way that we do, with the power that we do, or kind of the efficiency to make it cost effective for you. But I'll happily teach you everything I'm doing and how we're doing it, and why we're using certain ingredients and all that. So we have the patents, we have intellectual property, but at the same time, the information is more important than the greed, let's say.
Okay, so any other questions? If not, we're going to free you up. Please turn in your feedback evaluation form, or you can leave it right where it is and our girls will come by and get it. But please leave that with us. Please visit, because like I said, we have some treats over here that are totally natural to replenish your body, et cetera. Also, a lot of more educational things to put in your little sack, carry sack. So be sure to visit. our, next month is time for downsizing, right sizing, and simplifying and moving on. So it's going to be that very specific downsizing and moving on options of what we can provide. It will be in Mustang. Those are the 2 locations. These are our wonderful education partners. Please visit them. They're here for you. You can make an appointment to meet with them, to come to your shop, wherever, their offices. And we just thank you for attending. You are why we do what we're doing, and we appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here. Everybody stay safe this afternoon, this evening, and tomorrow, please stay safe. Keep tuned into the weather, always. Thank you. Thank you, Chip and City for presenting. Appreciate you.